Amid the constant noise of modern life, there is a whisper, a quiet space that gently calls us. Solitude, not as an escape, but as a return to the soul, a return to who we truly are, beneath everything we've been told to become. 1. Solitude as a gateway to the soul. Solitude is more than just being alone. It is a sacred portal, an invitation to reconnect with our truest essence. Whether you consciously seek it or find yourself led to it by life circumstances, solitude is a disguised gift. It is only in the absence of external voices that the voice of your soul begins to whisper, and in that sacred silence you discover you were never truly alone. Something or someone has always been waiting to be heard within you. 2. Solitude and loneliness. Two very different paths. Solitude and loneliness are often confused, but they couldn't be more different. Solitude is a chosen space, a place of presence, of peace, of inner companionship. Loneliness, on the other hand, is the painful feeling of absence, even when surrounded by others. Imagine two people walking through the same park. One sits under a tree, peacefully watching the sky. They are in solitude. The other feels empty and invisible, even with friends nearby. That is loneliness. Solitude is fullness. Loneliness is emptiness. Knowing the difference changes everything. 3. The emptiness of external achievement. We live in a world obsessed with doing, producing, achieving. But how many times have you reached a goal only to feel relief that quickly fades, replaced by another target? It's like trying to quench thirst with salt water. No matter how much you achieve, if you're disconnected from yourself, it never feels like enough. We build our identities around doing, but forgotten how to simply be. Solitude reminds us. 4. Deeper relationships are born in solitude. It may sound ironic, but the more comfortable we are alone, the deeper our connections with others become. When we no longer project our emptiness onto others, we can finally offer our full presence. Think of someone who takes time for solitude, travels alone, reflects, reconnects. When they return, they speak with compassion, listen more deeply, and love more authentically. They become real with themselves, and that makes them real with others. 5. The fear of silence is the fear of ourselves. The truth is, most of us aren't afraid of silence. We're afraid of what silence reveals. We fear the thoughts and emotions that rise up when the distractions disappear. So we scroll endlessly, binge watch, stay busy. But as Thomas Merton once said, every man is a solitary. Death makes that very clear. In the end, we are left with ourselves. And that's not a punishment. It's a path. 6. Discovering who you are through solitude. Imagine watching someone approach from far away. At first, all you see is silhouette. Then details emerge, gender, age, movement, until finally you recognize it's Mary, not Jane. This is how we discover ourselves in solitude. By stepping back from the world, we begin to see what makes us us, not what we've inherited, not what we've copied, but what we truly are. Solitude doesn't isolate, it clarifies. 7. Solitude as a wellspring of creativity. Throughout history, the greatest artists, writers, and thinkers all shared one skill. They knew how to be alone. In the 1960s, psychologist Frank X. Barron studied figures like Truman Capote and William Carlos Williams. He found that the most creative minds had something in common. They embraced complexity. They welcomed disorder. And above all, they weren't afraid to face their own inner world. Want to create, innovate, discover something new? Silence the outside world and let your imagination speak. 8. The spiritual depth of solitude. Most spiritual masters sought solitude before they shared wisdom. Jesus in the desert, Buddha under the tree, Moses on the mountain. These were not retreats. They were encounters, moments of deep communion with something greater. To this day, monks, mystics, and seekers across cultures enter silence to reconnect with the sacred, because in the stillness, the divine is not absent. It is most alive. 9. How to practice solitude in daily life. You don't need a cabin in the woods to experience solitude. You can begin right here, right now. Practice self-reflection. Write in a journal. Ask yourself, what do I believe? What I want? What really matters to me? Light a candle. Play calming music. Let your mind breathe. Be in nature. Take a walk. Watch the trees. Feel the wind. Turn off your phone and let nature remind you of your place in it. Engage in meaningful projects. Start that painting. Write that book. Design that business idea. Solitude fuels creativity when you let it flow without interruption. Find joy in simple things. A cup of tea, the sound of rain, a ray of sunlight. These moments are doorways to presence. 10. Solitude, the way back home. In the end, solitude is not a destination. It's a path, a gentle return to the home within. In silence, we realign with our true values, our deepest feelings, and our quiet wisdom. We remember what truly matters. And when we return to the world, we bring more clarity, more presence, more soul. Closing reflection. Solitude is not where we hide. It's where we are revealed. It's not separation from life. It's reconnection with life in its purest form. May you find the courage to sit with your own silence. May you listen deeply to the voice within. And may you walk forward, not alone, but fully alive in your essence. Thank you for joining me on this journey inward. Remember, in solitude, you don't lose the world. You rediscover yourself. Subscribe to Healing Vibe for more explorations of the soul, presence, and inner peace. May your path be filled with light, clarity, and the quiet joy of being who you truly are.